I am so anxious to film this video right now because John is home and I hate filming while there are people in my house. My brain literally tells me that John is going to come up and put his ear to the door and listen to me talk, and I'm reading Let's Not Meet stories today and I mess up a lot when I'm reading these stories. I just stutter so much and my brain tells me he's gonna be like right here listening, even though I know that he's probably not. But I tried to film yesterday with the puppies and it was just absolutely impossible. I put them in their crate so I could get a video done and they were just crying and barking and all of the above, and I couldn't do it. I was so frustrated, so I couldn't film yesterday, so I had to wait until John got home today to try to film, which completely throws off my routine as well, and I am not a fan. I am not a fan right now. I'm also still throwing up from anxiety from my puppies. I'm having the worst stress response in the entire world from these dogs, but I love them. They're so cute, but they're ruining my life. I'm just kidding, they're not ruining my life. They're just making me really anxious. So now I have to film a video while John is in the house, and I hate doing this. I absolutely hate it. So we're gonna just try to get this video done. We're gonna see if I can even do it. But hey y'all, I am back and I have more Let's Not Meet stories that I'm very scared to read today. I was originally gonna post a police ghost stories video today, but honestly, those stories are kind of boring. They're not very scary and they're not very like ghost related. A lot of the stories are just like, they went to a deserted place and this happened, and it's just not very fascinating. So I'm not going to read from that book anymore. I tried to read a couple stories in a video for this week and they just weren't it. They just weren't it. But this first Let's Not Meet story says, "To the guy who tried to kill me at my job, let's never meet again." This actually happened to me today at work, July 26, 2021. I work in the mall at Victoria's Secret. A little background story, I've worked in this mall before when I was 16, but at Kohl's instead of Victoria's Secret, and had a stalker who tried to follow me home from work, but that's a story for another time. And the air just kicked on, which means it's gonna be really loud in the video. Oh my god, today is not my day. Back to the story. Today I worked at 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., but at Victoria's Secret, associates have what are called extended shifts, which means if there was a call-in, they would utilize your extended shift so they always have coverage for the store. I remember those shifts. I hated having call-ins. I absolutely hated it. I just would hope and pray that they didn't need me so I could go home. Unfortunately, we had a call-in, so instead of leaving at 2 p.m., I ended up having to stay until 4 p.m. I started the day off by unloading the truck, processing apparel, pushing new merchandise to the sales floor, and I zoned the store for the remainder of the time until we opened, which was at 11 a.m. After that, I was the sales lead, so I had to stand in the front of the store where customers enter and engage with sales. Eventually, I was moved to the back of the sales floor until it was time for my lunch. I went to punch out, did my bag check, and left to get lunch. As I was eating, I noticed I was being watched by a man that I did not recognize, but I ignored it because he never approached me or got near me, so I continued on with my meal. Once I got back from lunch, I was main cashier for a little while until I got moved back to sales lead for the remainder of my shift, around 2 p.m. Everything was fine until the same man I noticed was watching me earlier came into the store. I greeted him the same way I do with everyone else by saying, "Hello, welcome, what can I help you find?" He replies to me by saying, in a very creepy way, "Do you want to know what you can help me find?" I say, "Sure, what can I help you find, sir?" He responds by saying, "I want to find a woman who can hold me down, stick by my side, dress modest, and look as beautiful as you are." I gave him a fake laugh and say, "What were you shopping for today?" His face went from a smile to anger. He then walks up to me and says, "I want to see you naked." He went to point at a poster with a model wearing our latest lingerie and said, "I want to see you naked like her." I tell him that I'm in a relationship and that I'm not interested. He aggressively turned to me, got in my face, and says, "I don't appreciate being rejected," without blinking his eyes once. I stepped back and told him again that I was in a relationship and I was not interested, but I appreciated the offer to be nice, and it made him angrier. He responds by saying, "So what? Why can't we have a relationship? We can be friends with a little more than friendship." I'm not sure what I did to make him leave after that, but he eventually left, and once he did, I told my managers about it on the walkie. My manager came as quick as possible and asked where he went, and as soon as she finished her sentence, he came back walking past and stared at me and then walked off. My manager sent me to the back to breathe because she noticed how visibly shaken I was. As soon as I went to the back, I heard the creepy guy come back in and say, "Where is that bitch at?" repeatedly until the mall security came and threw him out. He had a weapon. I had a panic attack and nearly fainted. However, my coworkers managed to calm me down. After I was able to completely calm down, I went back to work until 4 p.m. on the register instead of the sales lead. The mall security assured me that I would never have to worry about him again, but I still feel like he'll one day come back for me. To the creepy guy who tried to kill me at my job, let's never meet again. You are joking. You are absolutely joking right now. That is terrifying. What kind of weapon did he have? I know that's probably not the most important question to be asking, but I'm really curious what kind of weapon did he have. This next story says, 21-year-old American guy sent a friend request on Facebook, asked a minor for nudes, let's not meet again, potential child predator. This is a trigger warning for a potential child predator, just saying. Apologies if the story is a bit messy or I may forget bits, but I'll try to be as detailed as possible. This happened when I was around 12. I'm 21 now. We were still living in our previous house at the time, and we had one of those old school kitchen desktops, PC computers on a desk, computer stand in our hallway area. I know what you mean. So by the time I was 11 or 12, I had a Facebook account, which a lot of people my age did as well. I had all my friends and people from school on there, as well as family members, mom, sister, sister's boyfriend, etc. I never really did much with it back then, other than talk to family and friends, share quotes and random things that I liked or found interesting, shared a few pictures, etc. Regular kid or teenager stuff. One day I got a friend request from someone. I looked at it and saw that it was a guy named Jake, if I remember correctly. From his profile picture, he seemed normal and decent. He was slim, had dark hair, dark brown, black hair, and I think maybe tattoos. He didn't have a lot on his Facebook, just a few things here and there, but that's fair enough, as not everyone does as much on their Facebook profiles. Some people are more on the private side or just like to use it to talk to people. My innocent, naive, young self decided to accept his friend request, as I didn't see anything wrong with it. He started messaging me and we started talking, just casual conversation stuff like, hey, how are you, how's your day going, what are you up to? I was a sweet kid and being pleasant and friendly, but he was also being friendly and pleasant. We spoke for a little while, he seemed fairly normal and decent, and I didn't mind talking to him in between going to school and everyday life. Then after a little while he said he wanted to see more of me and he wanted pictures. I can't remember how soon it was, but we hadn't been talking massively long, a couple days or so at most. I wasn't exactly comfortable with doing this, and I'm pretty sure I said I wasn't sure about doing it, and I felt really weird about it. It didn't seem quite right. But I ended up saying yes and said that I would take and send pictures as soon as I could. I don't know why I said yes, I just did. But in my head, I knew I wasn't actually going to do it. I just said it, but I had no plans to do it. I think I said yes because I wanted to get him to shut up. And I think I thought if I said yes, but never did it, he'd eventually get bored and leave me alone. But he brought it up a few times in our conversation. I was trying to avoid it as much as I could. I didn't know what to do. And even if I was going to do it, I wouldn't have known how to, as our computer didn't have a webcam. I didn't have Facebook on my phone, nor did I have a photo camera, I don't think. Luckily, he never asked for it, and I never gave him my mobile number. I never told anyone, not my mom, not my sister, not my friends, no one. I didn't want anyone to know, and I was embarrassed. I knew that I was going to stay at my sister and her boyfriend's house quite soon. They lived in a different area a fair ways away, so I'd be away from home, away from my mom, and away from the computer. I just checked because I heard a noise, I heard a breath, and Rumble is sitting right outside the door. He wants to get in really bad, so I'm gonna let Rumble in really quick. Hi, Rumble. Back to the story, I'm sorry. I only had a little basic phone at the time. I can't remember if I had a button phone or a touchscreen, but I don't think I had Facebook on it. So I knew that I wouldn't be talking to this Jake guy for a little while. I got to my sister and her boyfriend's house, and we were having a nice time. We used to get along well, and I'd often visit her wherever she lived while growing up until about the age of 14. We'd do things at home together, go out and do things, etc., just trying to make the most of our time together. Roughly a couple days into me visiting my sister's house, I remember her being in the kitchen and she brought up this Jake guy. Her partner was nearby too. To start with, I was confused as to how she knew and found out, but was also scared and embarrassed, and anxiety kicked in a bit too. I tried to avoid saying much and didn't really know what to do or say. I went to the toilet and just sat in there for a bit to try and avoid it. I think my sister's boyfriend, now husband, tried saying or asking me something about it while I sat in the toilet as well. I ended up coming out of the toilet after a few minutes. I can't remember what else happened after that. I don't think much else, if anything else, was said about it while I was staying there for the rest of the week. We just carried on with our days, hung out, tried to enjoy our time together, and I went home after a week of staying with my sister. Once I got home, I dropped my stuff off, got settled back in, and carried on as normal. At some point along the way, I can't remember when or how long soon after I got home, but my mom ended up mentioning this Jake guy. Again, I was embarrassed, anxiety kicked in, and I didn't know what to do or say, and I was confused on how my mom knew or found out. The only thing I could think is that somehow, even though she wasn't good with technology, she must have gotten on my Facebook account and snooped through and seen my messages, even though we had two different profiles on the computer. One for me and my stuff, and one for her and her stuff. I think she replied to the last message she ever sent to my Facebook account. I don't know what it said though. I think I tried to explain it, at least somewhat a bit. I was trying to defend myself, but I didn't want to talk about it and just wanted it all to be done and gone. I can't remember exactly how the conversation went or finished or whatever happened after. But luckily I didn't hear from him again. I deleted or blocked Jake on Facebook as well as the messages, and went on with my life. Luckily things carried on as normal, and I've always been very cautious and more aware since. For all I know, it could have been some old weird creepy guy pretending to be someone else trying to prey on minors. So dear Jake, or whoever you were, let's not meet again. I wanted to read that story because I think it's a really important story for you guys to hear. I know nothing super crazy happened, but I feel like it's really important that you guys be careful on the internet. You really never know who you're talking to. And I know, especially now, it's like, it seems like the easiest way to make friends. Like, you join a fandom and you meet all these people, but you really don't know who's on the other side of the screen unless you've like FaceTime them or Skype them or whatever. No one uses Skype anymore, Courtney. Unless you've like FaceTime them or talked to them, whatever. But you just have to be careful. You have to be cautious. And I want you guys to be careful and cautious because I don't want you to get into the same situation that they got into. Okay, and this last story says, random guy that laid on my legs in the middle of the night. I live with my mom and brother. My brother's bedroom is in the garage, which has a door that opens to the patio and not into the house. So he needs to come back into the house if he needs anything like food or to use the toilet. My brother has Asperger's and often didn't take his house key with him to his room at night, so we didn't lock our back door. About a year ago, I was sleeping in my bed next to my boyfriend. I'm a very light sleeper, whereas my boyfriend is a heavy sleeper. I woke up to the sound of a door opening, and I half opened my eyes to the sight of someone entering my room. The person shut my door and lowered themselves onto the bed, which resulted in them laying on my legs. Their head was resting on my thigh and their arm hugged my legs. At this point, I completely opened my eyes and thought it was my brother. As I mentioned, he has Asperger's, so he would always randomly enter my room during the day and want hugs. They lay there for quite a while, not moving. It was long enough for me to analyze them. My room was dimly lit by a soft nightlight. I was so confused on their hairs, as that's all I could see while they laid on me. My brother has dark brown hair. However, I came to realize that something wasn't right when I noticed greasy, slick back hair with strands that were shining as if they were gray or bleached. Then they just got up, opened my door, and shredded on the way out of my room. I continued to hear doors opening and closing. Then my mom's door was opened and they laid on the foot of her bed. She thought it was my brother as well and asked him if something was wrong and why he was there. After she asked, they got up and walked out and shut the door. More doors were opened and closed. Once again, my door was opened. The guy was small and skinny, wore a dark jumper with a zipper and tracky pants. This part was weird to watch. The person came in, shut the door, got on their knees, then laid on their torso on the end of the bed face down, arms by their side. They were so dark and flat they literally looked like a blanket on my bed. I now knew it was not my brother, but my boyfriend was still asleep next to me. I was unsure for a while whether I should try to wake my boyfriend up. I was ready to ask the stranger if they were okay, as it seemed they may have just wanted a bed. I waited for a few minutes and decided to wake up my boyfriend as the guy wasn't moving. I nudged him a few times, and to my surprise, he woke up. I said, "There's someone in my bed." He was confused and didn't understand what I meant. He thought I was meaning one of my cats was now in the bed, as I was extremely calm and whispered to him quietly. After a while, he said, "What are you talking about?" I once again stated that it was a person. He didn't believe me and poked the guy on the bed, to which they did not move. Now, my boyfriend truly did not think I was being serious. He said, "No, really, what is it?" I assured him once more that it was a person. Then while we were staring at each other, the guy got up calmly, walked out, and shut the door. My boyfriend, in shock, said, "Are you serious? That was a person." I'm like, "Dude, you just watched them get up and walk out. Yes, it's a person." He jumped out of bed and started walking down the hall in attempts to follow the guy to find him, only to come back because he forgot his shoes and then went back out looking for them. I messaged my family that we need to start locking the door because a random guy was walking around our house. I went to check on my mom. She yelled when I opened the door because she had just read my message. My boyfriend came back because he heard her yell. We were all fine and decided to look through the house first to make sure they weren't hiding anywhere inside. My boyfriend ran down every street we lived on to see if they were there, but he found nothing, and neither did we. We went back to bed as we figured the police could do nothing, as no one was hurt and nothing was taken or damaged. My mom ended up contacting the police during the day just in case. They told us we should have called because they could do a search of the area and that situation was technically an emergency. Nothing happened though because we didn't want to press charges. However, we were all confused how they exited the house so quickly, as it only seemed to take a few seconds. The house was extremely messy, the hallway is narrow, and there was a big heavy vacuum, piles of sheets and towels, cat beds, etc. It was like the guy just levitated over it because we didn't hear a sound when they left. My boyfriend was annoyed with me because I wasn't freaking out while waking him up, as me being calm confused him and he didn't understand the situation right away. However, I'm a small female that was awake by herself. I didn't know the guy, if he was on drugs or how he would react if I started freaking out, and I didn't know if my boyfriend would wake up in time. A few weeks later, I was driving home at about 11:30 at night. As I turned on the roundabout to my house, I saw a man and was stunned. I watched him the whole time I drove around it. The man matched the exact stature and clothes I saw when the guy entered my room. Small and skinny, dark jumper with a zipper and tracky pants, as well as greasy slick back hair with random strands that just shined more than the rest. To the random guy that walked through my house opening and closing doors, laying on the ends of beds, and laid on my legs, let's not meet again. That, I don't know what the fuck I would do. That has got to be one of the creepiest stories I've ever heard. Like, this man just walked into your house, went into every single bedroom, laid on your legs, and then just left. He just left. For what? For why? Why did he do any of this? Why did he come into your house? But that is all I'm gonna read for now. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have stories you would like to share with me or the community, I will have my subreddit linked down below. We're officially done with the email. No more email. I'm not even gonna link it anymore. It's on my old video, so I'm assuming people will still send stories to the email, but I'm not reading from the email anymore. It's just I've gotten way too much spam on that thing. I'm deleting it from my phone. No more email. No more email. Post it on the subreddit or else I'm not gonna see it. I'm just not gonna see it and you're not gonna get your story right on my channel. That's it. That's it. But anyways, I love you guys. I will see you in the next one. Bye. Now I gotta figure out how to get Rumble out of here because we closed this door so the dogs can't come in here. So now I gotta get Rumble out somehow, which I don't know how I'm gonna do that. I don't know why I let him in here. It's such a bad idea. I'm a dum-dum. But I'm gonna go see my puppies. I'm just really excited that I got this video done. I'm so proud of myself right now. I'm so proud that I got a video done. Oh my god. I really didn't think I was gonna be able to do it. I had already quit the Police Ghost Stories video. I was like, I'm not filming this thing. I'm not filming a video. I guess I won't have videos this week. Also, I don't know how many videos I'll have next week because John's parents are in town to help us with the puppies. That's not the only reason they were gonna come visit us anyways, but the plus side is that they're gonna help with the puppies. And they're here on Tuesday. So if I film a video Monday, I can get a video up next week. So I'll probably try to do that. But if I don't get a video done Monday, then I won't have a video next week. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm doing really bad at videos right now. I'm doing really bad. But at least I got one done right now. At least I got one done right now. But okay, I'm gonna shut the fuck up. I love you. See ya.